Long before phones, televisions, cities, clocks, or written language, there were nights when the world went dark, the fire burned low, and ancient humans had nothing to do but face the silence. Imagine a small group sitting beneath a sky, so bright with stars it looked alive. Around them, the forest breathed. Somewhere beyond the light, animals moved through the darkness. The day's work was finished. The meat had been shared. The children were sleepy. The tools were laid beside the fire. And then came the strange, powerful human question. What now? This was the moment when boredom could have crept in. But for ancient humans, boredom did not simply mean empty time. It became the doorway to stories, music, art, games, imagination, and the first sparks of culture. In those quiet hours, our ancestors were not just surviving, they were becoming human. To understand how ancient humans killed boredom, we must first step away from the modern idea of boredom. Today, boredom often means being trapped without entertainment. No internet, no video, no message, no distraction. But for prehistoric people, life was shaped by hunger, weather, danger, movement, and the needs of the group. Their days were not controlled by school bells, office schedules, or glowing screens. They followed the rhythm of the sun, the seasons, the animals, the plants, and the fire. Yet, even in a difficult world, human beings still had free moments. After a hunt, after gathering food, after repairing tools, after preparing shelter, there were hours when the body rested, but the mind stayed awake. And this is where something extraordinary happened. Ancient humans did not treat empty time as useless. They filled it with meaning. The most powerful form of entertainment was probably storytelling. Around the fire, a hunter could describe the moment a giant animal turned toward him. An elder could explain where the river came from, why the moon changed shape, or why certain animals must be respected. A mother could calm a child with a tale about ancestors watching from the stars. A young person could exaggerate a small adventure until everyone laughed. These stories were not only entertainment, they were memory, they were education, they were warning signs, wrapped in drama. A story could teach children where danger lived, which plants were poisonous, how animals behaved, and why the group had to stay together. Long before books, human knowledge traveled through voice, gesture, expression, and emotion. In a world without writing, the best storyteller was like a living library. But more than that, the storyteller was also the first filmmaker, the first teacher, the first comedian, and the first historian. The fire became the screen, the shadows became special effects, the human voice became the soundtrack, and boredom disappeared into imagination. But storytelling was only one way ancient humans escaped boredom. Another powerful answer was music. Before there were temples, theaters, or concert halls, there were hands clapping in rhythm, feet striking the earth, voices rising into the night, and simple instruments made from bone, wood, stone, shell, and skin. Music did not need civilization to exist. It came from the body first. A heartbeat, a breath, a repeated sound, a shared rhythm. Imagine a cold evening in the Ice Age. The group has survived another day. Someone begins tapping two stones together. Another person joins with a hollow piece of wood. A child laughs and copies the rhythm. Soon, voices rise. The sound is rough, simple, maybe even strange to modern ears, but to them, it is powerful. It breaks the silence. It pushes fear away from the edge of the firelight. It reminds everyone that they are not alone. Music may have helped ancient humans bond with one another. When people sing together, move together, or keep the same rhythm, they feel connected. In small groups where trust could mean survival, this mattered deeply. A shared song could turn separate individuals into one community. A dance could celebrate a successful hunt, mark a birth, mourn the dead, or prepare the group for danger. And then there was art. Somewhere deep inside ancient caves, far from daylight, humans painted animals on stone walls. Horses, bison, deer, lions, mammoths, handprints, mysterious marks. These images were not made because people had nothing better to do. They were made because the human mind needed to create. To paint an animal was to remember it, honor it, fear it, understand it, and perhaps dream of controlling it. Think about the patience required. Someone had to find pigments from earth and minerals. Someone had to mix colors, carry light into the cave, choose a wall, and shape a creature from memory. This was not casual scribbling. It was imagination turned into a visible world. For a prehistoric artist, boredom may have become the beginning of wonder. A blank wall became a herd of animals. A hand pressed in pigment became a message across time. A piece of bone became a carved figure. A shell became decoration. A stone tool became not only useful, but beautiful. This is one of the most important truths about ancient humans. They were not machines built only for survival. They cared about sound, beauty, rhythm, memory, and meaning. When their stomachs were full and the danger was far enough away, they did what we still do today. They created something that did not need to exist, but made life feel richer. Ancient humans also killed boredom through play. This is easy to overlook because we often imagine prehistoric life as completely serious, dangerous, and exhausting. But play is not a modern luxury. It is one of the deepest parts of human behavior. Children play naturally, even in difficult environments, and adults often turn skill, competition, and laughter into forms of entertainment. A child in a prehistoric camp may have chased other children between trees, climbed rocks, thrown small stones at targets, copied the way adults used tools, or pretended to hunt imaginary animals. To adults, this may have looked like play. But beneath the laughter, children were training their bodies and minds. They were learning balance, aim, timing, teamwork, courage, and attention. Their games prepared them for the real world without making the lesson feel heavy. Adults likely had their own forms of play as well. A group might compete to see who could throw a spear the farthest, who could hit a mark most accurately, who could run faster, who could wrestle stronger, or who could track an animal's path with the sharpest eye. These activities were fun, but they also sharpened survival skills. In the ancient world, entertainment and training often blended together. This makes ancient boredom very different from modern boredom. Today, when people are bored, they often look for passive entertainment. They want something to watch, something to scroll, something to consume. But ancient humans lived in a world where fun often required movement, imagination, and participation. Their entertainment was physical, social, and creative. They did not simply watch others do exciting things. They became part of the action. Crafting was another powerful way to fill quiet time. A person could sit near the fire and shape a stone blade more carefully than necessary. Polish a bone tool, drill holes into shells, twist plant fibers into cord, carve patterns into wood, or make ornaments from teeth, feathers, stones, and beads. Some of these objects had practical value. Others carried identity, beauty, memory, or status. A necklace was not food. A carved figure was not shelter. A decorated tool did not always kill better than a plain one. But these objects reveal something profound. Ancient humans wanted more than survival. They wanted to express who they were. They wanted to belong, to remember, to attract attention, to honor the dead, to mark adulthood, or simply to make something beautiful with their hands. In that sense, boredom may have helped create culture. When the urgent tasks were finished, the human hand kept working. The mind kept imagining. The group kept inventing small ways to turn ordinary life into something meaningful. Ancient humans also fought boredom by exploring. Their world was not mapped, named, measured, or explained the way ours is today. A hill beyond the valley, a dark cave near the river, a strange track in the mud, a new sound in the trees, or a distant line of smoke on the horizon could awaken curiosity. To us, exploration may sound like adventure. To them, it was also survival. But it was more than that. It was the ancient form of wonder. A person could climb a ridge just to see what lay beyond it. A group could follow animal tracks and discover a new water source. Children could wander near the edge of camp and return with unusual stones, feathers, shells, or bones. These objects might later become toys, tools, decorations, or stories. Curiosity turned the landscape into a living mystery. At night, the greatest mystery was above them. Without city lights, the prehistoric sky would have been overwhelming. The Milky Way stretched across the darkness like a river of fire, The moon changed shape. Stars appeared, vanished, and returned. Meteors cut through the sky. For ancient humans, looking upward was not just passing time. It was an encounter with the unknown. They may have built stories around the stars, connected bright points into animals or spirits, and used the sky to mark time and seasons. A child staring upward could ask where the lights came from. An elder could answer with a story. In that moment, astronomy, religion, memory, and entertainment became one. But perhaps the simplest way ancient humans killed boredom was through each other. They talked, they laughed, they teased, they watched children play. They repaired relationships, shared memories, imitated animal sounds, joked about failed hunts, and sat in comfortable silence. A small band of humans was not only a survival unit, it was a world of voices, faces, emotions, and stories. This matters because it reveals the deepest truth about our ancestors. They were not dull creatures waiting for civilization to make life interesting. They already carried the roots of everything we now call culture. Storytelling became cinema, rhythm became music, cave painting became art, play became sport, decoration became fashion, stargazing became science and myth, conversation became community. So, how did ancient humans kill boredom? They did not kill it with screens. They transformed it. They turned empty time into imagination. They turned silence into song. They turned fear into stories. They turned ordinary objects into symbols. They turned the night sky into mystery. And around the fire, with nothing but darkness beyond them and each other beside them, they discovered one of humanity's greatest powers, the ability to create meaning when there is nothing else to do.